usual, or one of my usual co-hosts is out this week with Thanksgiving-related family business. So joining me today we have Sredni Vashtar as usual.
What's up, motherfuckers?
And for the first time on the show, Heinz.
I'm just Trevor this week, I guess.
You're our replacement, Trey.
Okay, I'll do it.
Tray placement. Anyway, we are going to be playing some Binding of Isaac in the first half of the show, and then in the second half, I'm going to reprimand my cat for knocking pictures on the floor, and then
oh dear.
And then we will play some GeoGuessr in the second half of the show. So let's go. Also, I do have this full screen, so if you guys can just keep an eye on the chat like usual.
Yeah.
Everything's working alright? It looks like it's working okay. Make sure real
Chat
quick.
seems quiet thus far. Normally they're like people.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance this week to tweet out the little like docket picture I usually do, because I didn't know if we would be doing a show at all or who would be there if we did. So there might be.
So we're just going to have to watch and wait.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just stare at the empty chat and will messages into existence.
Will people into existence. Ooh, we get the evil eye. I like this item.
Yeah.
So how was
do the whole men who stare at goats thing?
How was your guys' Thanksgiving week?
What? That's an American question.
Oh, that's right. You're not from the United States. I forgot. I'm sorry.
I ought not to answer that. That's what it's like a month late for me.
Well, how was your week anyway?
Okay.
Geez, was pretty good, I guess. Just regular school nonsense. Saw a good movie this week. Might
That's
talk
good.
about that a little later once we get through that.
Yeah. We don't have delineated segments or anything. It's all.
No, yeah, but I'll just keep it until we get going. Then maybe we just need something to fill.
Okay.
Dead air space. Yeah.
Anyway,
for a while.
Yeah. So Sredni, how was your Thanksgiving week? Sredni, you sound really, really far away.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I must have had my finger near the thing.
Oh, jeez.
You sounded like you were in the next room.
Okay, so I still technically have a really bad viral sinus infection.
Oh, nice.
And I went to the hospital with vertigo.
That sounds horrible.
Oof.
So now I am on meclizine, among other things, which is an anti-vertigo drug, but they can't treat it with antibiotics because it's a viral infection. So, yeehaw.
That sounds horrible.
Oh yeah, like apparently there was a lot of fluid pressing against my eardrums.
I used to have.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hello.
Yeah. Yes, I know that Jane can relate to some of those things.
Yeah, I used to have really bad, recurring ear infections like that.
Yeah.
And I had to get it fixed by having an ear doctor stab a needle in my ear, so that was fun.
Yeah. Part of the reason why I'm able to swallow ridiculous numbers of pills dry is because I used to, when I was very young, have really bad ear infections constantly. So I had to take massive antibiotic horse pills when I was 3.
Yeek. Anyway,
Yeah,
welcome to the Medicine and Pills show.
Bad drug programming.
Yes. I laugh because it's more fun than crying.
Yeah.
relatable.
Pretty true.
Yeah, I kind of had like I didn't have like a bad Thanksgiving per se, but I kind of had a weird one. So
Okay.
usually what we do for Thanksgiving is we go over to my uncle's house for like dinner. But this year everybody had like other engagements at around dinner time. So we went over for breakfast and we were under the impression that he would be, serving breakfast food, right? That seems like reasonable. Instead, we had a full-on like turkey dinner at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, wow.
It was pretty odd.
Hearty.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Maya.
Really?
How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, Maya is in the chat.
Hello.
Yay, Maya.
One of our most loyal viewers.
Yes, indeed. Maya has been with us forever.
I think literally all of our shows. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, yes. Maya is kind of a fixture in the same way that, well, Trey was a fixture until he betrayed us.
The shade.
He betrayed us. It's a pun.
It is.
Because that's his name.
That's why I said oof.
Yeah.
That's awful.
I learned these sort of mad pun skills from my grandfather, who is the master of terrible jokes.
Oh my.
Lovely. Sounds like a lovely man.
Yeah, they're always wholesome, but they're always terrible.
What sound does the Nintendo ambulance make?
Oh boy.
No.
Wii
Don't
U,
do
Wii
it.
U.
I
Ooh, the
didn't see
euthanasia
that coming,
needle.
but I should have seen that coming.
Now, that's an old one, I think. Old by dumb internet pun standards, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my grandfather has been making these jokes since probably when he was, actually 10. So that's what, the 30s? Okay, maybe not the 30s, the 40s.
I can't believe Sredni's grandfather has just been called out on live internet TV.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of doubt he would be watching this stream. Although he is actually very tech savvy.
That would be funny if he was, though.
I mean, it would be funny.
Grandpa
bizarre.
Vashtar. My still living grandfather lives in Florida and owns a bunch of birds. It's an odd
bunch
fellow.
of what?
Birds.
Birds.
Birds, yeah.
I thought you said birds, but I was like, wait, huh? And then, oh.
Yeah, he owns I don't know what term you would use because collector doesn't seem quite right, but he has a bunch of exotic birds that he has to we talked about it once years ago, but I guess there's a bunch of permits you have to get in order to own many of these birds, and it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I would say a keeper of exotic birds.
Yeah.
I've never seen this item before. The bionic arm.
Bionic arm, what the hell is that?
Huh.
Wow.
Interesting.
How is it that I am at a slower lag than...
I think it, although, now that I was going to say I think it might vary depending on where you are, but that doesn't make any sense, because we're both in Pennsylvania, and then Heinz is up north.
Yeah, I'm all the way over on the western side of Canada there.
That
Vancouver.
is a great distance away.
It is
from
a great distance. Several hours.
Yes.
Yes, so how you are getting the stream closer to real time...
I have no idea. My internet's not even that good. I don't,
It's it's breaking the space-time continuum because
Yeah.
Canada.
There's some
Canada
like
breaks the space-time
Yeah, dude.
continuum.
there's some like quantum computing shit going on.
Yes.
It's like the video signal is getting sent backwards in time.
Oh dear.
It's like Luna tried to tell me earlier that, you know, just because we're Canada, we just can't change the seasons, but it's winter here already. You know?
I mean,
Yeah, already did.
it is cold up there. I mean, did you know that, like, aside from Scandinavia, the most metal bands per capita are, like, in Canada?
Oh yeah, there's a big scene actually in Edmonton too. Yeah.
Yeah, like,
So I had
Edmonton,
kind of idea of that, yeah.
parts, like, a lot of weird places, like, a lot of bands from Alberta.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Alberta's like rural Canada, right?
Yeah.
Largely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Except for just the Edmonton and Calgary areas, are like metropolitan. Everything else is country, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know a ton about Canadian geography, but I do know that there's a city up that way called Moose Factory, which I like a lot.
Ah, yeah.
I don't know if it's a big
Never been
city,
there.
but I know it exists.
I don't think it's too big. Never been there.
What city?
Moose Factory.
Ah.
It's where they make the moose.
It is a rat jam.
There's also, I
Yeah.
mean, like, Nunavut has the best ones, like Yellowknife.
I think actually Moose Factory might be in Nunavut, but I'm not actually
Yeah, well,
100%
true.
sure.
I'm actually trying to remember because now I always I forget that shit too myself.
It is a big country. It's like what, the third or fourth largest country
Wait,
by
I got it wrong. It's
by
the
land area?
the Northwest Territory that has Yellowknife as
Yeah, I
its
was gonna
capital.
say- I was gonna say
Whereas
Nunavut's
Nunavut,
got Iqaluit,
Iqaluit.
it's called. Yeah.
Yeah, with the guttural Q, Iqaluit.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to do without doing it in isolation. Like, as someone who does not regularly speak Inuit or Inuktitut, you
Oh,
know.
that's what I was thinking. Yeah, you were talking Moose Factory. That's actually in Ontario, which is like just up north of you guys, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, interesting.
Whereas, yeah, like, I guess my SO, lives, in, Minnesota, which is, if I'm not mistaken, right below, like, Saskatchewan?
Yeah, it's around there. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah, like, which I don't know anything about other than that it's called Saskatchewan.
Yeah. It's flat. It's the flat province.
Yeah.
Saskatchewan's flat and I don't care.
Yeah, it's like- It's around in this, it's in the area near, like, Saskatchewan and Alberta. And I know more about Alberta, which says something. Like, Saskatchewan seems quiet.
Nady lives right in St. Paul, Minneapolis, don't they?
Yeah, St. Paul.
Okay. I can never remember which one, because the two cities are, like, joined
Yeah,
to
they're
hit,
twin
basically.
cities. Yeah. St. Paul is actually older than the state of Minnesota.
That's interesting.
Which isn't that hard, because Minnesota isn't that old, but, it's like... It's a city from, like, the... like, mid-1800s in a state that's slightly more recent.
Actually, my state geography is so bad. Minnesota is actually right below the eastern bottom corner of Winnipeg and the western end of Ontario, because Ontario is freaking big.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But it's,
Yeah.
Ontario's kind of odd. Like,
It's very strangely shaped.
It's large. The western part is there's not a whole lot to see, and two big cities being big cities being like places like Sudbury, Thunder Bay, Toronto, and Ottawa are all on like right in the southeast.
And
Huh.
yeah, and one of them, if I'm not mistaken, is directly, like, there are parts of the United States that are actually north of it because of how weirdly
Yeah.
positioned
Oh
it
yeah,
is.
that's where that whole
Mm.
border, like, there's like weird little
Yeah.
pockets of
You
America
have towns like
up on the
you have
other
towns
side.
like Niagara Falls that are
Yeah.
half in, half out.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, living
Actu-
somewhere like that must be super inconvenient.
yeah.
Gotta like show a border guard a piece of paper anytime you go to work.
I want to go to the grocery store. This is a step off my front lawn. I'm in the United States now.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm just thinking about, like, the status of, like, the Vatican and micronations, like,
Yeah.
the Sovereign Military Order of Malta, which is technically independent from Italy, but it occupies, like, a couple of blocks in Rome. So as soon as you leave the Sovereign Military Order of Malta, you're in Italy.
Huh.
But when you're in there, it's an international zone.
There's
And,
speaking of
and if
like
you go...
weird borders, there's this place along the Belgian-Dutch border, and I forget the name of it, but the border's drawn like really screwy. So there's like restaurants that actually have like little lines outside showing where the border is because it looks like it was scribbled with like a crayon or something. It's
Oh dear.
Oh yeah, now I
Lord.
see it. There's like this little spot, a little kind of weird loop, and the border seems to be cutting through streets and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's so bizarre. Wow.
I mean, you do know that the whole situation with Berlin back when East and West Germany were separated, Berlin is several miles into East Germany.
Yeah, so they had like a weird enclave thing going on.
Yeah, and yeah, the Berlin Wall was meant to keep East Berliners in, but it was also meant to keep West Berlin isolated from the rest of East Germany, which is really just odd.
So we're like, what, 15 minutes into the show, we've already covered several different kinds of viral infections and now also border politics.
Yeah.
We're doing good today.
The geography power hour.
Oh, there's also a really interesting thing about how the United Kingdom is not just composed of, England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland, but there's also, like, one island that is separately accounted for.
Is that Orkney or is that somewhere else?
No, it's
the Isle of Man, isn't it?
No, I mean, those are counted separately. Also, like, sort of like like Jersey, Guernsey, and so forth. But I'm talking about like there's an area in the south of Kent, and the bottom part of the main island,
right?
That is like literally accounted for separately in. God, what is the name of that charter that establishes the United Kingdom per se? I can't remember what it's called.
The thing,
Exactly.
The thing.
The thing. Well, actually, here's the really funny thing. Do you know what the original definition of the word thing is?
Actually, I think I do. It's like it used to be the name of a specific governing body in Iceland, and now it just means literally any object or concept at all.
Sort of. It's that word, the thing in Iceland. It has the same definition as in Old English, which would be council.
Right.
And it also means the subject of discussion in Old English, which is where the current use comes from.
Okay.
Because there used to be things in the sense of living things, which were referred to as wights or wichts, which that term was used as, like, it's still occasionally used very archaically, like, especially if it's a reference to something like Shakespeare. Oh, that poor wight. Like, oh, poor thing.
It has a different connotation nowadays, but
Yes,
yeah.
it does.
No, WIGHT, different.
Oh, so like a ghost.
Oh no, you mean like white, like the okay, yeah.
Oh, the poor white.
Dungeons and
Or
Dragons
somebody
kind of
would
white.
know that you meant that specific spelling though. That could be disastrous.
Yeah, exactly. But it's very like provincial Englishy at this point. Whereas, but that originally meant the same kind of thing as thing. Whereas thing specifically would mean the subject of discussion or the body doing the discussing. And gradually the meaning of a council per se disappeared and was replaced with, subject of discussion. Except in Norse, the definition remained, and then so you have the thing, or in Denmark, it's the ding.
The ding!
Yup. It's the ding.
The ding.
It's a real dinger.
So which island is it? That's the separately accounted name. Is that Sheppy?
No, it begins with a B.
A bee.
Burr something. Yeah, there's but yeah, like
Is it cold in Burr something?
No. It's no colder than the rest of England, which is mainly cold because of the hearts of its denizens.
Fair.
Luna, that was for you.
Is she watching?
I don't know, but if she sees this on the VOD...
If she's one of the 4 people who's not in chat, or 4 people who's not in chat. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Gogo Otaku points out in German, ding is thing, yeah. Exactly. Because, like, the and the exist as sounds in, like, really old Germanic languages, like, or did, like, in their precursor forms, but they've mostly merged outside of English and Icelandic with, duh and tuh.
This is a real humdinger. See, that's my secret for this show, is whenever I can't think of anything to say, you just find a way to make a terrible pun out of it.
Yeah.
It's a sound strategy.
It's the secret to my very limited success. Let's see.
Secret to my limited success.
These are all pretty bad, aren't they?
You're going for the boss rush.
I'm looking into it. There doesn't really seem to be too much of use in here, but you know what? I'm low on HP, so I guess I'll grab the Ankh and zip on out. Alrighty. Let's go. Oh. Accidentally smacked my microphone. Okay. Indeed.
I have tea with honey, and also I totally put some sweet wormwood in it.
That's interesting. I just have...
Because it grows outside our house, and it's edible. So, and it tastes interesting. So...
Does it taste like worms and or wood?
No, it tastes, it has like a mild camphor-like odor.
Ah, yes, camphor.
Kind of like camphor or pine. Well, not pine, more like cedar.
Okay.
So it has an aromatic flavor.
Interesting. I actually just have plain water today. Usually I have tea or something, but we are all out. Just...
Oh well. Yeah, we don't have a whole lot of tea left either, but I made some because my throat.
Mhm.
is not like in great condition given what I've already talked about.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh hey, it's well, there's what's his face, and there's also the big worm.
What's his face and also the big worm.
What's his face being not was that little horn? The one bouncing man?
Maybe.
The
I've
red
already
one is
forgotten.
Horn.
Oh no, the red one is Loki.
Yeah, it's like,
Oh, okay.
And
Bye,
the
Loki. Bye, Loki.
little horn is like a
Bye.
charcoal gray color.
Yeah, I was thinking they have similar designs, but like with some differences other than the color.
They do. My stats just changed because I got resurrected by the Ankh. I didn't realize that Blue Baby had different stats than Eden did. Oh well, of course he does. That makes sense actually. Now that I think of it, because Eden's stats are random. All right. That was the 10 seconds I'm gonna spend talking about this particular, the mechanics of this particular game today.
Oh dear.
Just to
Can't
prove.
really talk about Isaac's mechanics much. You're just gonna have to play it.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
It washes over you.
There's way too much stuff in this game.
And I have mods on, so there's even more stuff than usual.
Oh yeah. Definitely noticed some stuff that is not in the vanilla game. I don't usually play with mods, so.
Yeah. There's, got some items going on, and, a mod that a guy made that, like, adds a bunch of stuff to the second set of floors in the game. And I think he's working on ones for, like, the rest of the floors. I don't know why he went with the caves first, but...
If you want to describe how, you experience Isaac to somebody and keep it within the aesthetic of the game, say that it washes over you like a mixture of holy water, blood, and piss.
There you go.
Yeah. There you go.
And probably you don't smell great afterwards, but you had fun.
Is it really a party if it doesn't involve at least 2 different bodily fluids?
Probably not.
Don't answer that question.
Probably not. I would know. I don't go outside.
Me neither.
I just hide here under the floorboards.
This can I? No, I cannot. All right. Let's get going then.
I have a dust collection. Because I already collect so much dust, I might as well formalize it.
Is this an impression of somebody, or just a bit?
No. It's just my life, Jane.
We can add this one to the Sredni soundboard.
Counterfeit penny, is that one? I don't recognize that.
What don't you recognize?
The counterfeit penny you just picked up.
Oh, that is in the vanilla game, although I don't see it super often.
I don't recall ever seeing that, yeah.
It, occasionally when you pick up a penny, it gives you an extra cent.
See, you can play this game on vanilla for hundreds of hours and still not see everything.
Yeah, there's like,
Ridiculous.
even me, I will occasionally run into like a room or something that I've never seen before, because some of them have like really low chances to spawn.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's some items that I see so rarely that I forget that they exist quite a lot.
Can't remember what everything does half the time.
Yeah, that's kind of reminding me of the whole thing of the Gaster stuff in Undertale.
A little bit
Where-
like that, yeah.
Yeah, like the fun value has to be between X and Y for this to happen, and then it's usually and it's always something really fucking weird.
Yeah, well, for a while Isaac had that in the form of when Rebirth came out, one of the characters, the Lost, who was like a little ghost boy, I'll show him off when we go back to the main menu. To unlock him, his existence in Rebirth when it came out was not advertised. So you had to unlock him via this really obscure method that involved dying with specific characters in a specific order, and then that would unlock him, I think. Like, I think the first one was, also, I just died. I think the first one was like, but yeah, heck, I'll play as the Lost. I actually quite like this character, even though he's very fragile. I think the first one was like you had to die as Isaac on the caves to a specific enemy, and they were all like that. And you had to do several of those in a row, and that would unlock him.
So I sort of had an odd idea, like, one of the conceits... I don't know if I've mentioned this much, but a while ago, I haven't really worked on it much because it seems like a long shot. Like, I might eventually get around to doing something with this. But, inspired by something that Kexrukt had suggested, I came up with a prospectus for a game.
Okay.
And one of the minor conceits of it is that I hadn't mentioned when I was discussing the particulars of it, was the idea that in the last act of it, which it's not an uncommon thing for a game to do, is you wind up playing as somebody else in a later stage of it. You know, in terms of within the narrative. I was sort of thinking that depending upon how you play it in very specific ways, that it potentially changes who you play in the very last act.
Oh. You could probably pull something like that off with, like, RPG Maker or something.
Yeah, and
also, I just wanted to... I'm going to interrupt you for a second, sorry. This guy here, with the bomb in his face, I think this is one of the things he had to die to as Isaac in order to unlock the Lost. And they don't show up super often. Anyway, go on, continue.
But yeah, basically, it's, you know, kind of like... basically, my thought was along the lines of that on the one hand, the basic mechanics kind of would be, in a way, playing off of the tendency of, you know, like, what if instead of, you know, in conventional JRPG sort of things, you grind through combat, what if you played a healer character and had to go around, you know, healing people to, you know, maintain sort of points and levels? Which was something that Kex had proposed a while ago. And I sort of thought of... It also combined with, like, an idea I got regarding, you know, zombie games in which the zombies, instead of attacking you, just kind of behave more like old school European revenants. Like, they're just dead, sad people.
Dead Sad People is my favorite punk band.
And they just kind of, they are drawn to people because they have some memory of human connection and so forth, but they're just kind of hollow.
That, I mean, name aside, but that kind of sounds like what, Dark Souls does sometimes with their...
Yeah, I'm aware that Dark Souls does some interesting things with that sort of thing, and I was kind of, like, just sort of thinking of, like, in sort of not in this world, but, like, an equivalent to, say, the period, basically, of the idea of playing a plague doctor entering the last pagan lands in Europe and the most uneducated parts of Europe during the Black Plague.
Yeah, I mean, I
Basically.
think that would be an interesting aesthetic angle to take it.
And yeah, and basically, realizing that there is slightly more afoot than, people dying of the plague.
Actually, now that I think
As
of it,
in people not dying of the plague.
uh, shoot,
As
what
in,
is the name of that game? There's something like sort of vaguely similar to that. It's Russian. Um, it was developed by the Ice Pick Lodge, but I'm forgetting the name of the game.
huh, okay.
Uh, I know Odie would know if you asked him, because I know he likes some of their other stuff, if I remember right. It's something with an N, I think. Yeah, this is gonna bug me now. Remind me, like, during the break in the middle to
Oh,
look up.
apparently Maya thinks my idea is quote unquote freaking amazing. That is very nice.
That's
Well,
nice.
Thank you.
some strong language.
Ooh, the
What's
silver.
your fucking language?
Oh no, this bit again.
Don't fucking swear.
This is a Christian stream, no swearing.
Well, no, this is a Christian stream, therefore we don't say damn.
There we go.
There we go.
We do say fuck.
Twitch.tv/Planet Jane. We do say fuck.
Of course, I am absolved from these rules as, half Jew, quarter atheist, quarter vaguely Episcopalian.
Vaguely Episcopalian is another punk band that I like a lot.
Yeah, like, there's some kind of punk band.
There you go. I still think that needs to be like a trivia game. Is match up what kind of band this is with the name of their songs or whatever.
Yeah, and then of course the immortal question: how much do they sound like Cardiacs?
Indeed.
If anyone here listens to the Cardiacs, you know what I mean by that.
Mm-hmm.
Who's that solo band?
What?
Who's that Pokemon? Solo band instead. There you go.
Oh man, just the answer is always P model. The answer is always P model.
Pinnacle?
I feel
Pinnacle.
like what?
Pinnacle.
Peanut? No.
Pinnacle, that just sounds.
Pinnacle.
Pinnacle
That's like a card
sounds like-
game, right?
It is a card game, and it's a very complicated card game, which my mom used to be super fond of. But I do not know how to play, unfortunately. But it also sounds like, that there would definitely be some, like, kind of okay 70s prog band called Pinnacle. You just know it.
Do you just know that? Maybe you do. I don't know that.
I mean, that feels like a name that would go with one of those, like, late 60s kind of psych pop, early prog bands from England kind of thing.
Yeah, I feel
Perhaps.
I feel more like it would be like...
It feels like the name of a lost Robert Wyatt band.
Of Lost what?
Robert Wyatt band.
Oh,
yeah.
That's like slightly classier than I was thinking. I was thinking more along the lines of a band like, say, Camel.
Oh, yeah. That too.
Like, they're
Yeah.
fine. They're fine. They have decent pop instincts, and they're not too pretentious. But, like, they're not super ambitious.
Right.
But, like, yeah. But, yeah, they would be called, like, Pinnacle or something. Whereas, like, vaguely Episcopalian sounds like specifically like a screamo band.
Maybe. See, I think we've kind of delved like one layer further into this game now of like match a band's name to their genre, where it's now exclusively different kinds of card games we're trying to match to various genres of music.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Go Otaku just said pina colada.
Pina colada. Well, that's
and getting caught in the rain.
Yeah, no, but there's no the accent over the end, so I don't gotta pronounce it that way.
Well, I do because I'm just anal retentive like that.
True.
But yeah,
speak Spanish too. I should just not. do that.
I do not dislike the Pina Colada song.
Somebody pointed out a couple years ago there was this fairly popular pop rap song called Tuesday. It was by a guy named McConan, and it had a Drake feature on it. And somebody pointed out that it has, like, I don't know what the proper musical term you would use, but it has, like, the same tune as the Pina Colada song. And now, whenever I hear one of those two songs, I get both of them stuck in my head at the same time.
Oh, dear. McConan, you know what's weird is, like, McConan, it's a very Finnish-looking name.
He's, I forget where he... Well, I mean, he's from Atlanta. But, I forget,
the
like...
water on these floors.
Yeah, that's,
yeah, that's just the video compression, I guess.
Yeah, well, no, actually, that's on my end, too. It's a weird bug.
Oh.
Like, with my video card or something. I've looked into trying to fix it before, but it just doesn't seem to be...
It's vaguely psychedelic. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not too distracting. It used to be a real problem before I got the low FPS mod, because it used to slow the game down. But now it's just kind of vaguely annoying.
It's kind of like the weird eye patterns that I got the one time I took mushrooms.
Now, I would just like to point out to any feds watching that the statute of limitations has probably expired on that, so you know.
Definitely, yeah.
Anyway, we now get to clear this floor for free because I used Mama Mega.
Oh gosh.
I don't think sleeping in a bed does anything with the Lost. Let's go.
Yeah.
Also, I just realized this item that I have, which is this is a mod item. It's called the Aimbot. It's supposed to be
Wait, Jar of Flies is an Alice in Chains reference.
I think it's a reference to the fact that it's a jar with flies in it.
I know, but Jar of Flies is an album by Alice in Chains.
Maybe. I mean, Edmund McMillan does strike me as the kind of guy that listens to a lot of grunge.
Yeah.
Even in 2017.
Yeah, and especially, they're definitely on the heavier, more depressing end of grunge.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe.
So,
but
it fits.
What I was gonna say is I just realized that this is supposed to be what's his name's visor from Overwatch.
Oh, Soldier 76.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But didn't kill Gertie. That's weird.
I feel like I admit it. I feel like this vague knee-jerk hype backlash against Overwatch, despite the fact that I never will ever play it.
I think that the initial hype cycle for that is kind of over. I got it like last Christmas, and I played it a lot for like a month or two. I haven't really picked it up since. It's not a bad game by any means, but I mean,
yeah, I've seen footage of it and it looks fun, but at the same time, it's just like there was a point when it was saturated to the point that I just like. Somehow I managed to know very little about it and get soured on it despite that.
Well, it was very popular for quite a while. It's still, like, popular. It's just not that the same
it's
kind
still
of popular
popular.
anymore.
That's the thing. It's like it hasn't entirely. It's not even that it hasn't entirely gone away. It just plain hasn't gone away.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, it's a good game, but
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
I haven't played in a few months myself. I don't usually. It's not the kind of game I ever want to play alone because I'm not really big on the whole competitive thing.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing
So,
too for me is like
Yeah.
I initially got it on PS4 because a lot of my friends had it on PS4,
Yeah, that was pretty much me. I got it on PC just to play with friends, right?
and then
Friends usually aren't around enough to play all that often anymore.
well, the thing that happened with
Everyone's
me
busy.
was I got it on PS4 and then like a month later it came out for the PC, or something happened that a bunch of people that I knew suddenly got it for the PC. So, you know, things happen, but
Right. Whew.
let's go. Okay. I had a train of thought that I was following, and I think I completely forgot what I was talking about.
Oh. The worst. You're just friggin' shredding all these rooms, like my god. Your little conga line of friends you got going on.
Yeah, it is a little train of boys.
Yep.
It's the boy train.
It's the boy train. Come on, ride the train and ride it. There's a song I haven't heard in years.
So I finally re-listened to, for the first time in years, I think, Wood's album At Rear House.
Oh, that's the one
Which-
you were recommending to me earlier today.
Oh yeah, you I think would really like that album.
What is it?
It is a it's from like 2000, I can't remember when. And
I love that
it's
year.
It's a very strange sort of like low-key dark kind of folk album.
Okay, so it's like sort of a Songs
Kinda like
Ohio
a-
thing.
Like
Kinda
what?
Like folk band, aren't they?
Yeah, they definitely have a psych rock influence. Their later stuff is way more
Ah.
just straight up. What?
I died.
Oh no.
What time
Well,
is it? Yeah,
I
we
mean,
still got
their
it.
later stuff is way more psych rockish, but At Rear House is more it is very like their first couple albums are very stripped down and
Right.
very weirdly experimental. Like there's a lot of tape manipulation but it's combined with like very sparse instrumentation and like it's
Okay.
just like drums, acoustic guitar, I think like contrabass, like not necessarily even electric bass, like electrified acoustic,
What
bass
I'm
guitar.
imagining is like a sort of weirder version of like Songs Ohio or something.
Songs Ohia, I think it is. I don't know.
I don't know.
I have no idea how it's pronounced either.
One of the two, the Magnolia
But it's
Electric
not-
Company guy.
It's more like the thing that's really distinctive about Woods is that most of the time Jeremy Earl sings in this very kind of odd falsetto.
Oh, wait a second. I think I actually own a Woods album, but it's like a more recent one.
What? Which one?
Did they have an album that was called like Sun something that came out a couple
Sun
years
and
ago?
Shade.
No, I can look actually after we're done with this segment. I think unless it's a different band called Woods, which wouldn't be that weird, I guess.
Yeah, there really aren't that many bands called Woods ironically, because of how generic the name is.
Well, it's an SEO optimization kind of thing nowadays too.
Yeah.
Gotta be
Whereas,
Googleable.
whereas this Woods is mainly Googleable by the dint of the fact that they are the band called Woods.
Maybe
And
it
also
was...
their record label spawned a lot of people who went on to become more famous after they left their record label.
Such as whom?
Kurt Vile.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, Kurt Vile was on Woodsist early on. Also, like, a couple of noisier rock bands, like, Blues Control and Night Wounds and stuff.
Okay. Those names do not ring a bell, but I know I've heard of Kurt Vile before.
They also released, stuff by, Jackson Toth, or, Wooden Wand, who, has, like, this low-key cult following and has for a really long time.
I like that band name a lot.
Yeah, Wooden Wand, or Wooden Wand and the Vanishing Voice is one of the names he uses for more kind of full band projects.
Interesting.
And Wooden Wand and I think World War IV is one of his bands. But yeah, like, Wooden Wand is interesting, weird stuff. But,
Are you kidding me? I got the TNT again?
But yeah, like, what Woods kind of reminds me of is, like, mood-wise, not necessarily sonically, but mood-wise, the reason why I thought of it was, like, early Jandak.
Oh,
It has
okay.
the same vibe. Like, not necessarily like it sounds the same, it has the same vibe as early Jandak.
I get what you mean.
Like, that loneliness and eeriness is the same.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like, the fact that their lyrics are, like, they're not, like, hopeless, but they are, like, ominous.
Right.
Like, you know, the first song on, at Rear House is Don't Pass on Me, which, it's, like, just kind of,
and there we go again.
It seems to be about a change in a relationship of some sort, but exactly what that relationship is and exactly what's implied in it is ambiguous. You know, it begins with "Don't pass on me, and I won't pass on you, and I won't hide my money, and I won't hide on you."
Well, sometimes you have to hide your money.
It's it's also played in this, like, very furtive fashion, and, like, it's sung in this falsetto, but it's almost like it's whispered, but in a falsetto at the same time, which is really weird. And also the vocals are double tracked, but they very intentionally, like, they sing different variants on the melody. Like, sometimes a note in one of the tracks will be held longer than the other one, so the pace will occasionally go, like, off, almost like a round, and then it'll, like, snap back together in the next line.
I see.
It's very haunting and discomforting.
I feel like I should share some music news also, but the only thing I have to relate is about, like, developments in the hip-hop world, which I don't think anybody here...
Like the Cameron diss track?
That was, like, came out of, like, a time portal from 2005.
Yeah, like, I don't even know that much about Cameron, and I was thinking, why are you doing a diss track about Cameron?
Well, no, okay, so there's context behind this. I think I actually mentioned it on either last week's show or the one before that, but Cameron put out a new mixtape like a month or so ago.
Uh-huh.
And somewhere on it, I don't really remember much of the mixtape because it was, you know, bad, but somewhere on it he dissed Mace, who is probably best known for showing up on Mo Money, Mo Problems by Biggie. So
Uh-huh.
Right.
that guy, for context.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess somebody... This is the backstory that Mace himself gave. Apparently, he was at a Thanksgiving parade. And,
oh dear.
And somebody he knew came up to him and was like, hey, Cameron dissed you on this track. Are you going to do something about it? And apparently what he then did was he got on a plane and flew to a studio somewhere and recorded the track in like 15 minutes. And the song is really good. It's the best thing he's done in like 15 years.
So like petty irritation results
at a
in
Thanksgiving parade. Yes. Yes.
How does that happen?
I guess Mace is very sensitive. I don't know.
I guess that's the beauty and horror of hip hop.
He's a very fragile boy, that Mace.
But seriously, that is everything that is.
He does
great and
also
awful about hip hop in one
anecdote. Yes. He also calls himself pretty a couple times on the song, which is good.
It's good.
Yes.
Sounds very good.
But like everything about the song sounds like it came out like at least 10 years ago. The beat that was used really isn't even an original song. It's the instrumental from a random track off of the Blueprint 2, which is a Jay-Z album from like 2007.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. Good song though.
Yeah. I mean, that's positive at the very least.
Mm-hmm. Was also a... yeah, go on.
No, I'm just thinking once again, as I often do, about the anxious interval. And, like, how I was earlier on one of the Discord servers I'm on soliciting people to tell me about, like, good post-punk albums that came out in the 90s. Because during that period, that sort of set of genres was completely and utterly dead. And I wanted to know if there were any decent albums during the period when that genre was, for all intents and purposes, kaput.
Makes you think.
Yeah. Like...
Causes you to do a rumination.
Damn.
Rumination espresso.
Indeed.
Very much so.
But, once again, I had a thought on that, but I think it left the train station.
But yeah, it's also like, I was also looking for albums from the original period, which I had overlooked in my journeys, you know, back when I was younger and more, like, heavily into that sort of stuff, because, like, I kind of want to get back into that sort of, you know, music, which really isn't one genre at all. Like, I've argued this before, is like, people treat post-punk like it's a genre. It's really a set of, like, different styles of music and a movement which contained them, rather than any one type of music at all.
You know what I have thought that about is, like, 2000s era underground rap. People tend to talk about it like it's one thing, but it's actually encompasses a number of different styles and whatnot.
I mean, like, in certain cases, there's stuff which you could consider part of the post-punk movement, which is at least acknowledged as a separate genre, like people, like we talked about Cardiacs earlier, people generally don't talk about them as a post-punk band, but I would say they're very much a participant in that movement.
Yeah.
And then, like, also people refer to, you know, Amoebics as a crust punk band, you know, like they're one of the first
Oh wait,
crust
this is
punk bands.
totally useless as this character.
What is?
The item that I just picked up without thinking about it.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
But like
character that
you
doesn't
know,
use hearts.
but like yeah, like they could very much be considered one, like of a piece with post-punk music, despite being also closely associated with what was going on in metal at the time and with anarchist punk, which itself it has a very blurry distinction with what is post-punk music.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, my knowledge of post-punk is limited to like I'm actually trying to think and I'm kind of coming up blank. I guess like
Joy Division.
Yeah, them. Although honestly, I mostly know them because Danny Brown likes them.
Yeah, like it's worth looking into. You might find some of their stuff interesting, actually.
Like,
I don't know.
Public Image Limited.
Public Image
nebulous to me.
Yeah, it's really nebulous. It's like
where do you draw the line? Because like I almost want to consider like later like Clash albums post punk, even though they were
yeah,
like an OG punk band in '77 kind of thing.
Yeah, like they yeah, that was actually pointed out by Simon Reynolds, who wrote the book Rip It Up and Start Again, which really popularized the use of the term post-punk to refer to music from that period. Although it had been around since the period, it just wasn't as used as either people just called it punk or referred to it as after punk, in this nebulous way.
After punk.
At the time. Yeah, exactly. Which is a slightly more awkward term, so I get why they use post-punk now.
Yeah.
But, basically he pointed out that actually while there are plenty of, sort of, like, rock posture indulgences on later Clash albums that are kind of jar with, punk, with post-punk aesthetics and ideas, there was also a lot of stuff which they just did a lot of the same things that Public Image Limited did, just in a more straightforward way.
I mean, honestly, even Pill, what I know about them is that they at one point released an album in like an aluminum tin.
Oh yeah, metal box.
Metal box, yeah.
Which came in a literal metal box, I guess.
Oh yeah, it cost them a lot of money to do that, incidentally.
See, I like that because I have like a fascination with weird releases like that. Like a couple of years ago, there was the GZA from Wu-Tang Clan re-released his Liquid Swords album as like it came with a chess set.
Ooh. Huh.
And like some other stuff, but the chess set was like the main draw.
I remember that. Yeah. Good album.
Very good album.
But with Metal Box, the reason why they released it like that was because they spread it across 3 45 RPM 180 gram vinyl albums because they wanted it to be at maximum potential sound quality.
Interesting.
Right.
Like just as good a sound quality as you could get, especially in the bass range, which doesn't because of how deep you have to dig into vinyl to get like good bass resonance. That means that you need heavier vinyl and you have to play it at a higher speed, and so you can't fit as much music on the disc.
Is the door to this room closed now?
Yeah, I figured that out a few years back with those reissues of like Portishead's albums. Around there were 45 on 180. I was like, what the hell? Why are they this?
Huh.
Yeah, that's like, hey, the bass is fucking killer on these things.
Oh which dub plates are like that too.
Yeah.
Like dub plates, they're referred to as acetates, but they're not actually made with acetate. I can't remember what they're actually made with. And those are really heavy and very brittle and touchy, but they have extremely good registration of bass sound.
Yeah.
I actually heard a piece of advice from Soundwave once, who was one of Kendrick Lamar's producers. And his point of view on the subject is, if you can't make something sound like it has good bass on like shitty dollar store earbuds, then it doesn't have good bass. That is his point of view on the subject. And I always thought that was interesting.
Oh, I mean, I don't disagree. I just think that, it should be able to sound like it has good bass on no matter how, like, poorly, it is.
Yeah.
But it should also be able to play back and sound, great regardless.
Mm-hmm.
And you should be able to...
By the way, like, speaking of portable music formats that encourage the use of earbuds, last year I got a Reisz, which is like a Walkman basically, but made in the modern day and thus not ridiculously expensive because it's quote vintage unquote. And it is really good, and I like it a lot. I recommend it if you like listening to cassettes for any reason.
I don't think I have any cassettes.
I have
a lot of them.
I have a whole shoebox full of them. Mostly stuff that I bought at thrift stores, but yeah.
I buy a lot of cassettes on Bandcamp when I have the money.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I bought Refrequent's last album on cassette.
Yeah. Like, I have some cassettes which are in editions that are really tiny. Like, because you'll get, like, super niche artists who will release only a couple of cassettes.
Yeah, like, I know a lot of vaporwave labels do that. They'll be in editions of, like, 20. Not very many.
I literally got one where there were only 3 of them.
Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't that expensive either. It was like $5.
Alright.
And it was like... it's like a guy who has a harsh noise project, and there was a thing that was, like, listed on his Bandcamp, but it wasn't, actually put up. The music wasn't put up. And I was like, I'm curious about this, so I'll buy the cassette, and it turns out there are only 3 of them.
Huh. Anyway, we are going to take a short break right now, because it's almost halfway through the show. And then when we get back, we're going to play some GeoGuessr. And you two can actually help me out with that one. Are you guys familiar with GeoGuessr?
I played around with it a little bit before.
Okay. Sredni, do you know what GeoGuessr is?
I don't know how much actual help I can be, considering it's going to be, street views of places I don't know, probably.
I am not familiar with it.
Okay, I will explain it when I get back. Jane, look up that thing. What thing did I want to look up? Oh, the name of that game. The name of that game.
The game.
Ice Pick Lodge. Here, I'll do that real quick before we break. Pathologic. That's the name of the game I was thinking of. That's what I was thinking of.
Pathologic.
Yeah, it came out in like 2005.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Alright, I will be back in a moment.
Alright.
I'm not gonna need my controller for this.
Oh, wow. That's disturbing.
Just blew the fuck up. Oh.
Well, that was noisy. What is going on?
It's persisting. You can mute the screen for the next 2 minutes if you need to. Everyone.
What?
Everyone can mute the stream for the next few minutes if they need to, just in case there's any more of that before we come back up.
The horror.
Oh god, there is. Oh. I'm terrified. I'm scared for Jane now. Something's happening.
I kind of just want to read aloud, like at some point, like a short story by Steve Raznick-Tem, because I have a copy of Onion Songs with me, And there are some very short stories in this collection. And by very short, I mean literally a page. But, like, well, I doubt I'd get sued for it. And, you know, I just want more people to read Steve Razniktem. You know, it's like, it's in a weird gray area copyright-wise, possibly. But, like, literally it would take me, like, a minute to read one of these. Or less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure I have something that has that sort of stuff.
I have this weird thought that, like, you know, it would be sort of funny to, like, have a whole stream where I'm just, like, randomly reciting portions of Current 93 and Thomas Ligotti's I Have a Special Plan for This World. Just random chunks of it suddenly.
That'd be something, right?
Like, just, you know, completely wrong foot people just have the lyrics up either on the tablet or printed out or something, and just like
be playing Extreme in a game or whatever during commentary, and just randomly break and go to a segment or something, and just,
you know,
interject a segment into there or something. Yeah.
Oh god, I'd have to, like,
here we go.
There are but 4 ways to die, a sardonic spirit said to me.
What's the matter, Shaggy? You look pissed off. Okay.
Jane?
Hello. I'm back.
Jane, your mic is real loud.
What you mean?
Ooh, yeah. You went, like, the level went up. Yeah.
Huh. That's weird. Chat, does it sound really loud to you as well? Because it's still at the same level, like in the volume mixer and in OBS's mixer.
If it's just Discord, then I can turn you down, I guess, but...
That's really strange.
Huh. I could check. Wait.
They're saying that my microphone turned up real loud. Chat.
Oh.
At least for us, so...
That's weird.
Oh, well,
if it's not
try
for you guys in
adjusting...
chat...
I'll try adjusting the Discord volume.
Okay.
Yeah, just...
Yeah, that's strange.
Alright.
They're saying that nothing changed for them, so it must be Discord.
Okay. Don't worry about it.
Alright.
Yeah, okay.
Gonna pop out.
I've turned you down and you sound fine now.
Okay.
Yeah, better.
Weird. Anyway, let's get some GeoGuessr going. So for anybody who happens to not know, GeoGuessr is a game in which you are dropped somewhere in the world via what would you call it? Via Google Street View. And you are expected to try to figure out where in the world you are by looking at, various...
Are you gonna just do like the general, like the whole world type of thing, or
Yeah.
do you want like the specific, like U.S. landmarks, something like that?
Nah, we're just gonna do the whole.
They have specific ones.
We're just gonna do
Okay.
the whole world because I find that one the most fun.
Oh,
Oh boy, that means we could be thousands of miles wrong.
Also, this is gonna be another one that I have to do full screen more or less because for whatever reason Vivaldi doesn't like being resized in OBS. It makes this weird stuttering thing.
Maya, regarding, I don't really know what the fuck bass even means.
Yo,
It's
yeah.
Bass is like...
Weird.
Bass is just like, the low-end sounds in a mix. Like,
there's the instrument.
You feel in your feet.
Boom, 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 boom.
Anyway, So-
Whereas treble would be like.
There's another one for the Sredni
Yeah.
soundboard. Anyway,
Yeah.
There you go.
so we could
Exactly.
be like literally anywhere on planet Earth right now. That's always the fun
this
with
is a nice-
GeoGuessr. What is
Oh,
this
is a
sign?
nice little highway.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
and also regarding
use
what
these
Gogo
signs. Oh,
Otaku
here.
said earlier, in my opinion, genre is only useful for collectors and people that do theory. Yeah,
Probably.
kinda.
Otherwise, just like listen to, watch whatever you want, right? Genre doesn't
mean,
really matter.
Yeah, it's like they mainly matter in terms of
Look, we
like
got like
retrospective description.
we got something up here. What is this?
This looks kind of like look to the right.
Okay.
Okay, you guys gonna have to keep in mind that you do have a bit of a delay. So when you say look to
Well,
the right, I don't know.
She probably already
I
has by that
understand.
point.
Okay,
But say it anyway.
let's see. It's a tropical area. If you were able
Wait.
to go back a little.
I see a sign, and if we can get a language, we'll have a better idea.
What is this? Yeah.
Agropecuaria
What's
Florae
right there?
Ltda.
See.
They
is-
speak what is either Spanish or Portuguese here. So I'm thinking
Yeah.
somewhere in South America, maybe.
Agropecuaria Florais Limited Produto. That looks like Spanish specifically and has. Wait, what? There was pesca at the end? That's like fish? What?
Maybe there's a place for fishing around here, although it doesn't look particularly coastal to me. There's a
I
lot
mean,
of
you
these
didn't
like
need- I
no
don't know.
passing signs.
Yeah, those are pretty.
I actually quite like GeoGuessr. I like just being in like middle of freaking nowhere somewhere
Yeah.
in like Venezuela or something.
Yeah, it doesn't look like super tropical, it's just that it happens to have palm trees.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
So,
like
like-
I don't know. Like maybe somewhere in South America a bit further from the equator. You thinking?
Yeah.
The
Maybe not.
northern, like lip somewhere.
This sign is mostly blurred out. Anybody know what Atenção
Yeah.
Entrada means?
Oh, wait a second. Does it? I'm gonna have to wait to see it myself.
Yeah, I looked at it for a good little bit, so hopefully it's legible.
Oh no! Oh, we're in Brazil.
You think?
That is
That's
not
Portuguese?
Spanish. That's atención, which
Okay.
means
Yeah, that's what.
atenção,
Yeah.
which means
Alright.
attention
Well,
or a warning.
well, we know what country we're in then, so I'm gonna put us in like
Portuguese.
I don't know,
Either that or we're in like Suriname, maybe.
Mato Grosso. There is a lot of Brazil in GeoGuessr. Certain
There's a
countries,
shitload of Brazil. Yeah.
certain countries kind of get favored a little bit because
Yeah.
you know
They're big.
various places
Yeah,
have
yeah.
that
Of course,
and various places have laws or less laws regarding what Google Street View is allowed to do there. So like
Oh yeah, of course.
whenever you get Germany, it's always like this one place in Germany because everywhere else
On the
They
side of
don't.
this bus here.
Yeah.
Transporte rural. Gonna guess that means rural transport.
Yeah.
EPM
Yeah.
TUR.
Well, I mean, we know we're out in the country, whichever country we're in.
Yeah.
I can't remember whether Brazilian Portuguese has a rolled or a
EPM.
guttural R.
Probably a Brazilian R, if I had to
Yeah.
guess.
That's not helpful. That is
You
unhelpful.
know?
Brazilian. I'm gonna look this up. Brazilian Portuguese.
Okay. I don't know if we're gonna get any better than somewhere in Brazil. So I'm gonna make my
Oh, yeah, 'cause
guess.
You can't see license plates
Northern
and stuff.
Brazil. It'd be northern. The
You think?
northern drier part of Brazil.
You think
Yeah,
like
that's what I thought.
maybe up here in like Para or whatever this is pronounced? It's right there.
What is it spelled like?
P-A-R-A. And the second A's got like one of those little dashes over it.
Yeah, like para or something.
Alright, let's see how well we did.
Emphasis on that last name. Yep.
Oh, that's not amazing. It was in southern Brazil.
We're waiting.
We were in the state of Parana, near a city called Curitiba.
Oh.
I'm gonna give that like a 3 stars because I knew the country.
Piranha or piranha?
Alright. Now we are in a different highway in the middle of nowhere. This looks like a dirt road. We are on a dirt road.
Okay.
In the middle of
I'll look back.
of somewhere. Can we like get to a it just ends here. I can't go any farther. Okay. Let's try going back this way then, I guess.
Let's go the other way. Yeah.
Again, this is one of those ones.
I'm frozen.
You couldn't go up that smaller road back at the beginning, right? Sometimes you can't go up those. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of these
I
just
can
don't
see it
have.
now.
Okay.
Yeah, if you don't go in there. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And now, of course, they play when I refresh the thing. They play an ad for fucking Overwatch.
It knows.
I am not your audience. God damn it.
Targeted advertising. What does this sign say?
Call it the fuck out, my dude.
Reduce. It's in English. Reduce speeds. Something passing something.
Let me. Okay.
I can't barely read that.
If anybody recognizes this logo, that might give us a lead. Looks like it says Calque or something.
Something Lines Limited. Jesus.
So I have a feeling we're in the United States. But
yeah, that would make sense.
It might be. Occasionally you'll be like, oh, this has to be the United States, and it'll turn out to be like South Africa instead.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Or like Australia.
Wait, see like
Australia
building. See what kind of buildings are around here, you know?
Yeah, like I was thinking this.
I can't really make out good enough what those houses are over on the
Yeah,
left.
I mean these I don't know. I feel like these houses could be anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of
actually.
It could.
I mean, they look kind of.
Sort of vaguely reminds me of when we drove through Georgia, but it doesn't necessarily mean much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can catch up to this tractor. Maybe glean some information.
Wait a second. This looks like it could be. Yeah, it definitely could be somewhere in the south.
Kramer?
Like one of the flat parts of the south.
The flat parts of the south.
No, seriously. Like
I know, it's just a funny turn of phrase.
Yeah.
And now the highway ran out again, so I guess that's all we're getting.
Like, you know, the Saskatchewan of the southern United States.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Whichever state that is.
I actually have no idea.
Well, actually, like the flattest area in the United States is Nebraska, which is so flat that the highest point on it is on a plane. I'm not even joking.
I'm just gonna guess we're in like Oklahoma or something. Seems as reasonable as anything.
Go for it.
Oh, we were not in the United States. You want to take a guess?
We?
You want to take a guess as to where we were?
Oh no.
Oh, we were in Canada. Oh, we were in Saskatchewan.
We were in Saskatchewan.
Oh, holy shit! Really?
Yeah.
Where specifically in Saskatchewan?
Near
North Saskatoon. Okay.
Yeah, like near some place called Prince Albert. I don't know.
Oh, hey.
Oh my! Holy shit! It looks warmer there.
Another dirt road.
Yeah.
Than it has any right to look. That should not look warm.
No.
That should look fucking freezing.
No,
Ooh,
just
nice shack on a dirt road.
Yeah. Yep. We are this place again. The one pitfall of GeoGuessr is that like a good half of the guesses just kind of look like this, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But that's because a lot of the world looks kind of like...
yeah,
Like this. Yep. We got some like worn down wooden buildings.
Population density, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, like...
Also, I just wanted to highlight Gogo made a very funny comment. Is this where the Dirt franchise takes place?
That's awesome.
We got a sign.
Oh wow. This is a big old stretch of road.
Oh no. We're in Russia.
How do you... Oh, wait, are we gonna see...
You'll see the sign.
Well, it's Russia or like
Ukraine or somewhere else that uses Cyrillic.
yeah.
But
Oh, I gotta look closely at it. Oktyabrsk.
okay, does anybody know where
No idea.
Oktyabrsk is? We're 22 kilometers away from that.
Wow.
Is this a sign for the same place? Actually, no, it's not. This is for...
This looks way too warm to be Russia. Let's be real.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. It might actually be freezing here. There's just not any snow on the ground right now.
And still can't read it, so no use even looking at it.
Yeah,
I can kind of read it. That's a
Right.
Kocher de something.
Co-chaired to something.
Something that nobody knows.
Kocher de or something like that. Like, let's get to the next sign and I'll try reading it.
It's gonna, like, drop a safety guess, like, here. That way. Although I've actually forgot there's only a timer if you're doing, like, a competitive thing. Which is something you can do, but I don't actually know how to do it.
This seems like the kind of the like, not exactly the boring part of Russia, but you know what I mean.
We can call somewhere where there's literally no buildings around the boring part of wherever we are. There's not even like any farms. There's just ground, and then what looks like, I guess these are telephone poles.
This could be like Kazakhstan.
It could also be Kazakhstan.
Oh, yeah.
Kazakhstan was the breadbasket of the USSR, so it's mostly farms.
You know what? That sounds like as good of a lead as any. So I'm gonna put us like here. I'll say we're near Karagandy.
Fair.
Like,
see if we can find another sign or something.
Like if we
What
if we saw like
this?
if we saw some like cosmonauts or some shit, then we could say it's like near Astara or like
I think,
not Astara, the other one.
I think this is like the welcome sign for the town up ahead, but I don't see a town.
Oh wait, Kocherduk.
Can you read this part here next to this like weird like
Well, that's the name
coat of arms?
Yeah, like that bit is
Founded
Koch-
1782, I guess.
yeah, Osnovano V. Okay, it's in Russia because that's in Russian.
Okay.
The
well,
V.
that's something. I
Yeah,
guess
it's
we
in
know it's not Kazakhstan. So
Yeah,
I'll
because
put us...
otherwise
like
it would
that.
be in Kazakh, which is a lot different.
Okay.
It's
like
still
when that's-
spelled in It's still spelled in Cyrillic. It's just Kazakh.
So let's say we're somewhere around that border for now.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
That put
that
us down
seems
near
reasonable.
Krasnoyarsk. I'm just gonna make a guess because I don't think
Yeah.
we're gonna get anything else out of this. We
That's
were
reasonable.
we actually were near Kazakhstan, but we were in
Oh,
Russia.
shit.
Oh.
This is like not near any major cities. Like I'm zooming in, and it's the nearest
Oh,
big
yeah.
city is
Wow.
Chelyabinsk, and then
That's
it's
not too
just
bad.
like
Oh, yeah, we
We
were
were-
closer to Mongolia.
yeah, we were in
We're
a.
closer in the sense
Well,
that
no, the
Russia's freaking huge, so
the black flag is
Oh.
where it actually is.
Oh, you.
Oh wait, no, never
you
mind.
put
I'm wrong about that. Wait, no, I'm not. The black
Yeah.
flag is where
Yeah,
it
no,
actually is. Sorry.
point where you.
Oh,
put
so
face down is your
you were
guess.
the one who put the flag closer to Mongolia. I would have put it closer to Kazakhstan.
Yeah, I don't know. I just saw a K and remembered that the one sign we saw started with K, which is not a good basis for anything.
Yeah.
This game is doing a terrible job of making a good first impression on this stream. Goodness gracious. We get another dirt road in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Oh my god. Well, this looks.
I mean, but at least we knew we were able to figure. Oh, this is South America.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
Either
so
that or-
too, but like
Either that or it's South Africa.
Yeah.
There are two. This is definitely Southern Hemisphere, but it's also cold.
yeah.
One thing I've tried to do in this game is when you end up with a place in the States, look at the back of the cars and try to figure out based on the color on the license plates.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
because
that-
like
Yeah, that's
New York's
clever.
got yellow ones and such.
Yeah.
such. Yeah,
But
many things happen.
considering we don't really know what the license plate for other places in the world necessarily look like. Can't really
Yeah,
look
this
it up.
this car like literally does not have a license plate. There's just a blank space where there should be one. Also,
Yeah,
it's like
it's a bit. Oh, it's probably all covered over in gravel there.
maybe I kind of
Right under
can't
his
tell.
tailgate there.
It's like
but I
all
mean-
caked in red dirt.
Yeah.
It's somewhere that well, no, it might have a front license plate. A lot of places do.
Oh, you know what? I guess I could go back and look. Let me. But I can find this truck again. No, he has disappeared from the space-time continuum.
Oh jeez.
I don't know where. I don't know.
Bye bye, truck man.
He has vanished into the ether.
He was our only hope.
That may very
Yeah, you
well
flew
be the
past
case.
him.
Man, whatever. I'm sure if we sound something on him, it's not gonna give us a damn clue, anyways. Just look for a sign.
I'm not sure how many signs we're gonna find out here. This looks like a road that was like this isn't even paved. This is a literal dirt road.
Wait a second. Some of that foliage looks like things I can almost identify.
Okay.
So
I will pan
I'm-
around slowly for your benefit.
I'm like I'm honestly guessing somewhere in South Africa, probably.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Africa.
All right. Well, I'll pop a guess down in South Africa proper. Go a little bit more, see if we can find anything that maybe. Because if we
'Cause
like,
the company,
yeah, go.
like red dirt, white bark trees, that's like more South Africa.
Man on a motorbike, or no, yeah. Well, this guy has a license plate, but I don't know what it means. 3X05074. There's no
Okay, let me
other
get a look.
identifying information whatsoever.
I mean,
I don't know. This guy's got a DC
Yeah.
hat. Ah, he's picking his nose.
Huh.
Poor
Indeed.
guy.
Indeed.
I have no idea. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna get anything else here. This is quite out of the way.
I mean,
can you not go any further down the road?
appears
That
to be-
other way, or?
I can. It's just I don't know if we're gonna come across anything.
Oh, yeah, no, fair.
I think I'm just gonna make this one. We're just gonna move on to the next
Yeah.
game.
also
will be-
like
Yeah.
I will be happy if we get the right continent, which
Yeah.
we did not. We earned 39
God.
points.
where
God
did we go?
damn it.
Where are we?
Like the very northern tip of Brazil.
Oh,
Oh.
damn it.
That gets a one.
Basically, like I was thinking, there are very few other places. Now this sounds weird, but it's like in terms of the
Guys,
in terms
guys,
of, like,
guys.
the southern.
Sredni, we're in a town.
Oh my god, civilization.
Hey, you guys want to go to Rahusan Congas?
To the southern hemisphere that I can think of, and like it was the guy was he was a black dude. There are only two places I can think of that actually have black dudes.